Okay, so until somebody comes... Ew, I need soap soon. So until somebody comes on, I'm just... I don't know. Yeah. I left the dishes in the kitchen sink build up a little bit longer than I should have. I do still intend to do the live reading tonight with the whole little Wednesday night thing that I've been doing for, I don't know, I've been continuing with live streams on, I don't know, pretty consistently. I used to do only the last Wednesdays since, it was just the last Wednesdays since December, maybe November. Wait, God, when was that time that I read the Chuck Tingle live? I should do that again. Chuck Tingle. Not this time, though. This, later tonight, so 9:30 Eastern. That's gonna be... No, get back! 9:30 Eastern tonight. That's going to be... I decided to combine it with something that the Argyle Dinosaur did. I believe it's script-covered media. Started this thing called the Popcorn Tag. You get some books that have really effect or reading habits through your life. And how you think about life and books and all of that. And you read the opening paragraph. And I was thinking of combining this month's last Wednesday readings with that. So, just because I figured I responded to Argyle Dinosaur in their popcorn tag video, and I was thinking, I was thinking about how I should, was that on Twitter that I responded? I don't remember, but I responded to them somewhere about their popcorn tag video. Thing to pick, and so I might as well do it for a live stream. I think that's what's going to happen this Wednesday. That doesn't mean I won't still include that Edgar Allan Poe book that I wanted to, because that actually, The Raven, I know it's such a goth cliche to, to really cite Edgar Allan Poe, especially The Raven, as, a favorite of anything, but that really did have a huge impact on my love of poetry. And I was really into poetry before that, before I had really gotten all that exposed to that. Oh God, I want to say to that. And this, late 80s, early 90s little kid thing to say. This really dates me, but that first Simpsons Treehouse of Horror and included a reading of The Raven. And, in story, it was read by Lisa DeBart, but no, it was somebody else narrating it. Oh, there's somebody on now. How far do you want me to back up in that? I was talking about how the live stream tonight, I'm still going to do one tonight, as in Wednesday night. It's almost 2. I'm a little late for my dinner, but I figure what the hell, I might as well, I don't know. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing right now, but I was going to combine, usually the last Wednesdays of the month, I've been doing what? I've been just live reading from some book or another. Sometimes a chapter of a book, sometimes, last month it was, last month, I've been doing it longer than that then. Last month I read Phantasmagoria by Lewis Carroll, and that should still be up. I read oh, hi! Yeah, I figured you might be somebody who's on. But yeah, Argyle Dinosaur, they did a, this video. Yeah, Argyle Dinosaur, they're another Michigan YouTuber, video creator thingy. They do a lot of book-related videos, including poetry, and they recently did something from Stripped Cover Media. They started something that they've called the popcorn tag. So, you know, that whole little thing where you're in class and you read a couple paragraphs of a story, and then the teacher picks somebody else to do that, to read the next few paragraphs, and so you pick a few books that had an effect on, you know, your way of thinking, your way of reading, and all of that, and read the opening paragraph. And I'd responded to Argyle about I can't remember, a YouTube video about it or their Twitter, and saying something about how it's so hard for me to narrow down books like that, because I do read quite a bit. And then what happens is, so I decided with the, you know, to stick with my, I haven't had much of a schedule with the YouTube uploads. For the most part, the only thing I really stick to a schedule on is every 4 weeks for the last couple of months. I've been, every 4 weeks since December, I do a video of what I brought in from the food pantry around the corner from me. And then what happens? Last Wednesdays of the month since October, I believe, and I started that with Chuck Tingle. I started that with a Chuck Tingler because one of my exes, one of the ones that I'm on good, my mother's phone. Oh, I briefly lived in Rochester Hills. I don't know if you saw that in which one was that? I think it was the one I posted last night. Or was that this morning? I know, it's the one that I filmed hair dyeing, I believe. What was it? Shit. I had a thought. We must mourn my thought. It got away from me and hit by a train, I think. I don't know. But, then what happens? Crap goes down the garbage disposal. Well, not like crap. I want to say the last month, I've just been regularly doing Wednesdays in general, some kind of live stream, usually from about 9:30 in the evening, as per Eastern U.S. time zone, so Greenwich -5. Every 4 weeks, every fourth Thursday, I Though sometimes it doesn't go up until Friday in the AM, since December is food pantry stuff from the church around the corner that does um, food distribution for us low-income sorts. And yeah, last Wednesday's food pantry, then Wednesday live streaming, and then, you know, it's like pretty much whatever. Every 6 days, I fill my pill pods. I do some kind of chatty kind of thing where my thoughts go in several different directions, and then what happens? So yeah, it's just like pretty much whenever the hell I feel like it. Sometimes I'll post like almost every day of the week or more. Sometimes it'll be like once a week approximately, with the whole med thing, but yes. So later tonight, I don't know. I just felt like doing something right now. So that's why I turned on the live stream, and where the hell did this go? I throw a lot of things for the recycling into the sink first to at least rinse them off, because I mean, I know it's part of their job to deal with gross stuff, but it's like the poor people who work at the recycling station. It's like, I don't want to be one of those assholes who doesn't rinse out, like, the salsa jars and all of that for the recycling. It's just like, I know this is part of your job to do that, but that doesn't mean I have to, contribute toward making it a little bit dirtier. And I know by the time my stuff gets in there, it doesn't matter anymore, but still, it's my Catholic upbringing. That's what it is. And now I've got a jar, or I've got a lid, but no jar to go with it. This is, oh my, I swear these cats are selling things behind my back. Wait, that's not. Oh, here's a lot. Seriously? Oh. I put that up in the wrong way, and I didn't even finish rinsing it off. No. It is rinsed off. It just got stained somehow. Okay. Okay. And I do often save the plastic containers for for leftovers and all that. Seriously? Oh, that's gross. Especially in winter, I don't, by the time I get back from doing chores outside, which is almost every day, my back is not feeling up toward doing much, which is how the dishes get backed up. But on the good side, it's myself and the cats who are using dishes every day, and so that's, the cats have their own dishes. And, oh my God. When things were getting really, tense with my most recent ex, who I've mentioned periodically in some videos since August. At this point, I don't know, I really hope he gets his shit together, because he's not a well boy. And I say this, and he's going to be 23 this May. And yes, I know the age difference. It is. I feel enough like a dirty old man about this, so. Oh. But yeah, he really needs to get his shit together. But, none to oh God. At least what? Oh, damn it. Yeah, at least legal. Broadcast, sling, intelligent darklings appears that things are. Okay. Yeah, wait, never mind then what? About me being a dirty old man? He's but yeah, like the last, oh God, couple months before, he and I were definitely broken up, I kind of had a little bit of an emotional breakdown because he just was not doing anything around here. First off, he made it sound enticing to invite him to live here, at my place. Now, first off, I have an efficiency apartment. It's kind of big for an efficiency, but at the same time, it's like there is just about enough room for myself and 3 cats, maybe a 4th cat if the 4th cat gets along with the current 3. And the only reason I say maybe a 4th cat is because there was a pet sitting episode I had a couple years ago where I ended up having to keep the cat here at my place because he got too lonely to eat. Like, seriously, that is like... He got too lonely to eat. Who does that? A very emotionally sad little cat. But, and he did not get along very well with, I know, right? But yeah, that cat and Nigel especially did not get along very well at all. So, I'm thinking in terms of space, it probably could have worked, for a while. Like, I mean, seriously, I was about to tell that dude that, that I was sitting for, that I was about ready to keep the cat, just because I knew that way, he wouldn't be emotionally neglected, if not for the fact that he and Nigel just did not get along at all. And the cat I was watching at my place, he was declawed, and like a lot of declawed cats, he had litter box issues. And when, a cat has litter box issues, they often go outside. Declawed cats do that because it hurts their paws. And Um, and then what happened was oh yeah, and badly injured. She was a rescue situation from like physical abuse. Like somebody had like stomped her front paws, and the toes didn't heal right. And this was like, the vet told her people that this was one of those 1 in a million cases where he would, where he was legitimately recommending declawing just for matter of the cat's personal. Okay, I'm back. That was on my end. I don't know if there's a lag. But yeah, and of course, because of the added stress, I did catch Batty. That was the cat I was sitting for. I did catch him like going just outside the box, even though he did seem to prefer my litter to what they were using at his home. But yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that he and Nigel just, were really like not getting along, and I think part of it is because Batty like constantly wanted on my lap when I was at home, and Nigel gets very, very possessive when I brought home new cats. So I had Nigel first out of these three, and then Phoebe, and Nigel was being very possessive of my lap around Phoebe when she was first here. And then what happened? Oh yeah. Then there was Mr. Midnight, and he got very possessive again. But that, and oh, of course, yeah, he was a little less so with Murnau. I don't know if it's because he was just used to me bringing, new hiding cats here, or if it was because Murnau was like maybe 6 months old at the time, and therefore a little tiny kitten. And oh my gosh, Nigel is one of the sweetest cats when it comes to cats, and he's really shy around people he doesn't know, but he loves other cats. He gets very excited around other cats. And when I was going to the previous vet, before basically I got priced out of going there, that was the Ann Arbor Cat Clinic. And what was I looking for? I got my things and my other things. I'm going to be making taquitos. Okay. I really don't want to get out this big ass thing, but I don't want to go all the way back over to the pantry either. But yeah, at the Ann Arbor Cat Clinic, they often have adoptable cats at the cat clinic. And when we would be waiting for the bus, and we'd wait inside until it got much closer to the bus coming by, Nigel loved just playing with kittens, and he would always be so, gentle and sweet playing with small kittens. And, of course, when they're really likes to wrap kittens, he'll bat toys back and forth with small kittens. He's just such a sweet boy. And so yeah, I really like I can't have much vegetarian or vegan meat substitute because of a soy allergy, and also because everything that doesn't have soy in it is like so much more expensive than the soy based stuff. But oh yeah, this does contain eggs, so it's not vegan, but it's vegetarian. The corn meat-like strips, they're vaguely chickeny. And I say vaguely because I don't know, it's what? I don't know. It's a thing. It's food. 3/4 cup. Ba-dum. And well, at least the cats don't get blamed for that this time. This time. This is dinner. Well, you know, as almost every vegan on Facebook has told me, beans and rice are cheap. I'm like, well, yeah, and there's no way that's all you eat either, so. You know, as Eleanor Roosevelt said, don't, you know, ask of others what one would not do oneself. And so, you know, if you're vegan and you definitely will not, you know, do not eat, what's it called? You know, and rice made from dry every day, then please don't expect those of us who cannot have soy products or other things, you know, please don't ask us to do that, because it's like, I mean, at the same time, you know, the environmental science behind, at the very least, meat reduction and all of that, environmental science behind meat reduction is awfully compelling, and it's like, left to my own devices, I'm kind of semi-vegetarian anyway, and like when we look at it anthropologically, most human societies have been semi-vegetarian. There have been a few that are vegetarian, but even then, it's usually a subculture within the greater society. Like, the idea that even all Hindus are vegetarian is not really true. I haven't had meat in over a month due to the tube. Oh, yeah. Yeah, same. I don't usually eat all that much. Plus, like, cheese and eggs are cheaper. You know, they're a cheaper source of protein. And oh, the funny thing. Oh, right. Yeah, I had a. This is a train of thought. I was mentioning. I was talking about vegetarian food, and Isaac. That's the latest ex. He's vegetarian. I hear he's actually, like, you know, switched to vegan right now, which gave me even more reason to, because his bank card number was still on my Domino's pizza profile for a while. So after he left, I decided to have one last hurrah on his dime, right? It's like, I mean, he can't really say it was unauthorized because, you know, I mean, I guess he could still argue that, but it's like, it, you know, he did give me permission to put it on there, so, and I made sure to get it with extra cheese plus meat on at least one of them. But yeah, when, yeah, I had that bit of a breakdown I mentioned back, I want to say, it was after Convergence, but also after his birthday. Yeah, so it would have been late May, maybe early June. I asked him, you know, I just had a breakdown because I realized that he hadn't done anything. Like, he'd made it sound enticing to invite him to, you know, move in here. And like I said, the intent for him staying here was only ever going to be temporary, because after moving into this place, you know, after living with the roommate who sucked, it's just not him, trust me. He is nowhere near the worst roommate I've ever had, but he was definitely trying to give Lois a run for her money, that's for damn sure. I realized I kind of like living by myself, or at least as the only human in here full time. Like, you know, I like, after a while, I realized that I liked having Isaac around the same way I like having a dog around, which was, or a small child, which is like, I like to send him home at the end of the day. I really would have liked to have done that, um, but yeah, like, he even offered, to, help with, some of the cleaning and picking up, and definitely the dishes. He was going on about how he loves doing dishes, and, and he finds it very relaxing. And I've got a friend who finds doing dishes by hand relaxing. She's visited me from the fabled Canadas a few times. But then what happened? So I did not, sense bullshit in that, line he was feeding me. But apparently at some point I realized he was feeding me a line. And I just, like, broke down and cried one day because, like, the dishes were packed up way more than they were just now. And I'd really put some strain on my back earlier that week, but I had to do dishes at that point because, there was just, there was just too much, and I needed to, do things for cooking. And, I just, and I pointed out to him that he hadn't even so much as done dishes since, I want to say, just before he left to go visit his family, who are Mormons out in Colorado, which is, parts of Colorado are like a suburb of Utah. So, the parts of Colorado right up against Utah anyway. But, I've heard the same things about, parts of Arizona as well. But, so yeah, I mean, that probably, that whole, like, Mormon, ex-Mormon thing, it's probably a huge reason he's a mess and a half. But then what happened was, well, first he tries to, reason out of having to do the dishes. And he says, well, I eat at work and, and get takeout. And I'm like, no, at least half the time. And I was just, I was only saying that to give him the benefit of the doubt, but it was really like almost every time. I would eat, dinner while he's at home. I'd ask, just because I grew up Catholic and, we feed people. That's why there are so many fat Catholics. And I would ask him, are you hungry too? Should I make enough for two? And he would almost always say yes. And, that also, like, kind of comes with the implication that he would, at least offer to do dishes once in a while. And that's all I asked of him during my breakdown, was just once in a while. Like, I wasn't even asking for, like, a set time, like, I wasn't even asking every week. I wasn't asking, every other week. I was just asking that it's like once in a while, please, ideally proportionate to how much you eat when I cook. And, like, I noticed about 2 weeks after I had that breakdown over the dishes, he just stopped eating with me. I mean, that was like he would have honestly rather paid for takeout and then eat right out of the styrofoam, because that's good for the environment, right? He would have rather done that than, he would have rather paid, like, 3 times as much for food than, do dishes. So, okay. I'm going to leave that on top. Actually, no, I don't want to do that. Ooh. Okay. This is balanced a bit precariously, but I have a plan. Where did it go? There, thanks. I should do those tomorrow. Okay, so I've got and see, this is one of the really insidious things about having a soy allergy is they will put it in damn near everything. So there's things that's like not even vegetarian that I can't even eat because of soy content. Like, most brands of canned tuna I cannot have because of soy content. Where the... Oh, there it is. I was looking for the smaller cutting board. Where'd I... Oh, that's right. I just washed it. Where did it go? Oh, right there. So, I don't know if anybody's still here. It shouldn't be. In theory, soy should not be in tuna, but, actually, I don't have any cans right now. Every once in a while, I'll get a can of that from the food pantry, which I'm going to, let's see, if we're going by, oh, that's right, my watch is over there. If we're going by what the clock says, tomorrow, but, it's like, with today technically being Wednesday, so Thursday, the 28th, I'm going to the food pantry. About half the time, I get a tin of tuna, and it almost always is a brand that puts soy in it. I think it's the broth that they put in the tuna in water. Like, it's not like just straight up spring water, because that would dilute the flavor of the fish. But so instead it's a vegetable broth. In fact, most of it will just straight up say vegetable broth instead of water. Or like vegetable broth made with spring water, something like that. It's a broth basically, and I'm pretty sure that it's just soybean broth, just because it's cheaper to, I'm sure there's just like runoff broth water from processing soybeans for other things. So, it's like cheap for whatever food company is distributing the tuna in the cans. But, so then what happens? Oh, right, this. And my thing is there, and I want a bigger plate for this. So the reason I got out a different pan for this, and that's not the end I want. So I've got this pan. I've got so I've got this pan that's got the, I should have let these come up to room temperature first, but oh well. So I've got this pan here with, taco meat. So I used these. So it's vegetarian, not vegan. And I used and over this mess here, I've got a grill pan, and it's nice and warm. Seriously, we don't want to look at my toaster. It is. So, do we have any Invader Zim fans amongst the 3 people still on right now? Because I remember when that first came out. In fact, I have a first run Gerdal on my backpack. That gets me in so many conversations with people who look about my age, a lot of people who look younger. And so either they are around my age and just look really good like I do, with our tasty vampire genes, or it is being rediscovered amongst younger people. I noticed it's on Hulu, and I've got it saved to the My Stuff tab on Hulu. So where the fuck did my toothpicks go? Oh, there they are. They are under a whole lot of junk. Okay, because I'm a very organized person. But yeah, I get so many conversations about my first run Gerdal. So and after Invader Zim first came out, that was like taquitos was like the thing at those of us at the goth clubs, at least in Detroit. No, wait, it was on the email list too, because Yeah, I remember having conversations with a few people about taquitos, and people outside the U.S., were having no idea what taquitos were, but they knew the reference from Invader Zim. Oh wait, no, I can put this here for a sec. So, one of the things that I miss having, uh, at the drop of a hat, due to my soy allergy, because so after figuring out the soy allergy there, which has actually, like, food allergies are one of the hardest things to diagnose. Like, they're notorious for false positives or false negatives on the prick test that they give you with that. Like, they have the things on the little pins, and they give you the pin pricks on your back, and so yeah, it's like those are notorious for false positives and false negatives with food allergies. You know, your standard, like hay fever type thing, those are generally, the prick test is generally considered accurate. But food allergies, you pretty much have to do the food elimination test to and then, like, gradually reintroduce things. So so yeah, like, I miss the cheap frozen taquitos. Seriously? Wait, what's that? Oh, that. I thought my toaster was in the way. This is my toaster. I've mentioned my antique appliances, and this is one of them. This toaster is probably older than a couple of our ages combined, unless at least one of us is a vampire. Where do my genes come from? But, so yeah, let's see, the patent stamp on the bottom of this toaster is 1927 on this, so this is around that old. I've got a waffle iron with a patent stamp for 1924. And now I wrap up the rest of the cheese. So yeah, basically I'm making taquitos because I can't, like, there's one brand of the frozen ones. I'm on my doc book. Oh, yeah. My friend Scott, one of his other exes has celiac disease, and honestly, that was the least annoying thing about her.